Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about cutting edge technologies. Specifically, I'll touch base on artificial intelligence, blockchain, and other technologies which are very happening across the globe right now. So the first cutting edge technology which I'd like to touch base would be on mathematical techniques, where we talk about neural networks. Artificial intelligence is how you actually use neural networks and mathematical algorithms to analyze the big data which has been generated over the years. Specifically, when we talk about Facebook or any data maybe on Google, the kind of searches we do, they are actually being recorded. However, how the analysis of the big data should be done, which can be used for advertisement sector or which can be used to drive the mental mind of a human to purchase those stuff. When you talk about artificial intelligence, it's again, how the machine learning will evolve over the years and how it will drive the domestic market and the international market. It is not an organic route but an inorganic route of expansion of a business. Messengers across the globe, different kind of messengers are actually saving the data. When we say even the privacy policy, if you generally review those privacy policies, it is mentioned that they are going to use it to do the analysis. And other aspects of artificial intelligence, the technologies in which it is being used, some of the examples could be self-driving cars. Google is doing a lot in this sector. A lot of research is happening in UK also. University of Warwick is one of the universities which is actually a pioneer in doing research in self-driving cars. Then we have computerized healthcare sector, whereby when we say computerized healthcare is how your health is being maintained from a remote location, whereby the doctor is sitting in the hospital and the caretaker is at the other end of the system, and how such systems can actually work on an artificial intelligence level. Another very interesting example would be innovations in having conversational coffee table gadgets, whereby if some person is sitting and wants to have a chit chat with the AI kind of a robot. So those kind of innovations are also happening across the globe. And when we talk about table gadgets, we have digital assistants. Then we have home gadgets, which form a part of IoT. IoT is Internet of Things, how different devices are being connected to the internet. And when we talk about the internet, it's basically the cloud infrastructure whereby the network is being monitored. And the when we talk about house gadgets per se, it might be used for protecting robbery, it might be used to do your cleaning stuff. So a lot of innovations are happening in that domain also. Another very good example would be face scanning smartphones, whereby facial expressions and many points on your face are being scanned and they are being used to do the analysis. Then again, another sector would be the autonomous vehicles, which can be used in times of war and to for security purposes also it can be used. So artificial intelligence technology can be patented in India and across the globe. What you need to understand is who are the main players and what kind of research you should actually do uh, in any of the sectors. So, how we at TCIs can help you is to analyze the state of the art data. When we talk about state of the art data, is not only to identify what technologies are being researched across the globe, we are even able to identify the inventors or the innovators who are very active in that particular domain, so you can actually work with the experts. So state of the art not only tells you what kind of research is happening, it is able to identify what kind of innovation or what kind of research you should be doing at that particular time. Many a times what we do is the kind of research which a company is undertaking is already redundant, and when it is redundant there's no point of doing that particular research. Say for example in US, the technology, when you talk about patent applications, the lifeline is 20 years, and when the 20 years is over, anybody across the globe can use it. So generally in India, what we do is, or what the business people in India do is, they get the technologies when they are at the end, and then they introduce the technology in India. However, the patent is not being filed because that technology is already known in that particular country. So this is a good way of doing business. However, in the scenario of protecting intellectual property and the kind of research activities which are taking place in India, it is of prime importance to understand what can be patented, how can it be patented, how to identify the main inventors in that particular domain. And obviously this is one aspect which is state of the art patent research. Then the other aspect is market entry strategies. Many a times, uh, being a company in India, we start using innovations, but we actually forget that we are actually copying or infringing somebody else's intellectual property. So when we are actually infringing or copying somebody else's IP, it is very very important to understand that if you are spending your time, energy, money in building that particular product and introducing into the market, it is better first to understand whether you have right to even enter that technology in that particular country. When we in India right now, we talk about IoT, we talk about blockchain technologies, we are talking about different technologies. However, we should understand that those technologies might be patented in India by the foreign entity. So we need to do the patent research in India. Patent is type of intellectual property, and intellectual property rights, which is creation of mind, is jurisdiction specific. When I say it's jurisdiction specific, it means a patent which is granted in US and not in India, so anybody in India is free to use that. So you need to understand whether that particular company or whether that particular technology has been filed in India, and you should have that opinion from your patent lawyer in India, and then only take that technology and introduce in India, because a lot of money is involved in introducing a technology in market, advertisement, and all other factors. Again, when we talk about artificial intelligence, a lot of innovations are happening. However, when we talk about neural networks, neural network is like, spiking up the neurons. However, when we talk about mathematical algorithms, which can be beneficial to do the big data analysis, you need to understand what kind of technology are you using. Are you actually infringing it, or you're using a technology which is already redundant in any other country? Maybe the technology was already patented in Japan 5 years ago, or maybe the technology was already patented in early 2000. So you need to identify those aspects and then work upon those, and then introduce your technology in the market. So this is something we can assist you with. If you have any questions, we would be happy to assist you. We are reachable on LinkedIn, and our details are given below. Happy patenting. Bye bye. Take care.